Hello, welcome to Blake's Den. So this is my Hyundai Santa Fe 2.7 V6. It's the SM model. Yeah, if you don't have a history of this car, it was dragged out of a field where it sat for 7 years, and basically I got it back on the road and it's now my daily driver. So the video I'm doing today is air conditioning system. I had the aircon regassed on this because it was completely empty. I paid to get that done a quick fit and I had an offer voucher thing, it wasn't that expensive. But the aircon has subsequently stopped working again. So I have bought myself an aircon recharge kit, which consists of a trigger, which has a pressure gauge on, and a bottle of goo. Well, it's not goo, it's a refrigerant R134A or equivalent. So yeah, I'm going to test out my system. So the first thing I need to do is locate the low pressure port and check the pressure in the system. First thing you need to do is locate the low pressure port, which is labelled with an L, and that's on the passenger side of the engine bay at the back. So you take that off and there's like a little Schrader valve in there, just like you'd have on a bicycle tyre. And it says to connect this up with the engine turned off and then measure the pressure. So yep, that is firmly attached, and I've got low pressure, which is what I expected. So ideally you need it in the green area where it says filled. See, the red in the amber's bad. So the next thing it says to do is to start the engine and run it for 3 minutes and see if this changes. I can't actually do that because the pressure is so low. The aircon clutch, which is the thing down there, that's the aircon pump if you can just about see it, is not actually engaging. So I'm going to separately have to run a 12 volt wire to the pump to make it engage. And the reasons I was doing it is the pressure's so low, and the car's saying pressure's low, don't run it. So right, I'll bring you back in a second and I'll set it up with my test method with a 12 volt wire going to the compressor. So what I've got here is my 12 volt jumper pack. I've got the positive lead going down to the small wire, which in turn is going into the plug, which is there on the compressor, and the negative is going to the body. So when I turn this on, hopefully you should hear the clutch fire. So that's on, off, on. So doing that, I can manually turn on the AC pump. So now my next job is start the engine, run it for 3 minutes, full AC, lowest temperature, recirculate, max fan speed, and see what the pressure changes on the dial. It's only been running a matter of seconds, but straight away you can see that this pressure has dropped down to 0. I've got the AC on max, and I've also got a thermometer inside the air vents. And yeah, you can see that it's not blown cold at all. So to me, this signifies that there's definitely a problem on the system and it needs to be topped up. The gas I bought to put in it also contains a sealant which seals any small leaks. So I suspect because this has been sitting for so long, all the O-rings have perished and it's just lost the gas over time. I can't see any obvious areas of leaking. There's no pools of oil out the compressor. There's nothing really, so I'm going to go ahead and put the gas in. This next bit is a dangerous bit. It recommends wearing gloves and goggles, which I've got on. So now I need to squeeze that trigger in sort of 2 10-second bursts to get the reading in the green. So let's see how it goes. Still not doing anything. It's gone up a bit. Yeah, it's looking better. So we're just on the edge of the green now. A bit more. Right on the limit. So there we are, that is about in the green. I'll give it a little bit more and then test it again. Round to the car, and that would appear to be working. Look at my temperature now. So 12.6 and dropping. So I'm going to reconnect the lead up for the aircon compressor properly, and then I'll come back in a minute or two and see how cool it is inside the car. So that's getting even cooler now. We're down to 8 degrees, blown out. It feels significantly colder in here. Yeah, definitely better with the aircon on. As a quick test, let's turn the aircon off and see what temperature we get. So that's the aircon off now. You can see the temperature is beginning to rise straight away as it's bringing the ambient air in. So that all sounds good. Back on again. There we are, it's beginning to climb back down. So I think I'll leave it run a bit longer and see how cold it gets. I think we'll call that a success. Stabilised about 7 degrees the aircon, which is not bad. It comes in the car sitting on idle. So yeah, that's what I used. Fast and easy 10-minute job, well, I'd agree with that. So yeah, there is still some goo in there as well, so which is handy. So I'm going to run this for a little while. I'll come back in a few days and we'll see whether it's still got its charge or not. It's about 3 weeks later now and the aircon's gone back to being warm, so it would suggest that there is a leak on the system. Now I've had a good look around the system and I can't see any visual leaks, so I suspect we're talking something absolutely minuscule, or it's an O-ring or something like that. So because of that, I'm going to now try some STP Super Seal in the system. So this is a sealant which goes in and sort of seals any small holes. But first I need to then recharge the AC and then put the super sealant in, and there's quite a complicated process you need to follow to do that, about having the aircon system off and basically opening the valve at a certain point in time. So first thing I'll do is I'll get the aircon recharged and then I'll go through this in more detail. I've topped up the system with some gas again from the green bottle. I've now connected to the low pressure port, the can of Super Seal. So how it works is you need to, obviously it's under pressure at the moment, the system. So you open this valve which pierces the sort of seal on the bottle, and then you should hear gas flow into the bottle. He says. Not sure if I can actually hear anything there, but and then basically that mixes with the sealant, so you can hear the sealant there, and then we'll turn the system back on. Then under pressure, that should hopefully pull the pressure which is now in the can should then go back into the system and seal up the system. So let's give it a go. So that's topped up as per the instructions. I put all of the sealant in, put a bit more gas in as well just to clear the port. I recommended you doing that so you don't seal up the low pressure port. So it is blown cold. It's not blown as cold as it was first time, but the ambient now is a lot higher, so it feels alright. Right, I'm going to come back in a few days time and I'm going to inspect it for leaks and see how the system is performing. Well, it's 1 week later and it's a scorcher today, so ambient outside is 30.5. It is blown cold, it's not blown that cold. It's about 18, still not that great, but it is quite warm outside, but it's bearable in here. I need to check what the pressure is and see whether that has gone down at all. The bizarre thing has just happened. I put the fan speed down to low and the temperature's dropping even more. That's like come down like 7 degrees from where it was at before. And it's noticeably colder. So I'm wondering like if it just, the aircon system isn't that good, it just can't keep up with the heat. Yeah, interesting. Just after filming that last clip, I thought I'd put a bit more gas in, and as I removed the bottle I noticed that there was a bit of bubbling around that port there. So I just quickly pressed the valve down and back out again, and it seems to have settled now. I sprayed some WD-40 in there just to see if I could see any bubbling, but I can't see any bubbling, so I think it's sealed now. And still I can't see any leaks from anywhere else on the aircon system. Compressor, condenser, evaporator, they all look good. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up the video there. It's blowing cold. I've got a different thermometer now, but it's not blowing really cold, so I think in reality there's a problem somewhere in the system. I just haven't been able to find it, and the magic can of goo hasn't done its job in this instance. Having said that, it's creeping towards 10, so it might be okay. Basically, if there's another video on this, I haven't fixed it. If there isn't a video on this, I have fixed it. So yeah, so that's a reason for you to subscribe to the channel actually. So click that subscribe button, and don't forget to like and comment on this video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.